Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another Tron Uprising vlog. This episode is going to be episode 11, the episode's name is Grounded. So, in this one, it pretty much starts off with a program who is running away from some guards because she's been caught after curfew. Yeah, the curfew thing is still going on. I know you were all at the edge of your seats to see what would happen with the curfew issue, but yeah, it's still there, so you know. Um, but as she's running away from the guard, she encounters Tesler's worst guard ever. The one who just waits under bridges for a program to jump under them to try and hide from some other guards where he will just look at her instead of actually arresting her. There's a lot to talk about with this guy. So I never even got this guy as a kid. When I saw this guy as a kid, I was just like, wait, why is he just sitting there looking at her? What's the point in that? Why is he just doing that instead of actually arresting her? And I still wonder that today. Really, what was he doing? Why was he even underneath the bridge? I mean, it's not like he was there. It's not like he had just got there and followed her down. No, he was already there. He was already sitting there waiting. Is he clairvoyant? Can he tell when she's going to be under a bridge? Was he there for nights on end? Is that his house? Does he not have a place to live? Does he just live under the bridge? I Why was he down there? And why didn't he arrest her? Is he not an actual guard? He just, like, stole some of their clothes or something? Really? What's this guy's story? I wanna know. Can I see a whole episode about this guy? I mean, there's a lot to explain here. So, anyway, she amazingly gets away from that guy. Yeah, I know, it was so difficult. But she is encountered with more guards as she is surrounded, but she does try to get away when one of the guards deletes the ground from under her feet. Somehow. What? Yeah, he deletes the ground from underneath her feet. How? He uses his staff to do this. I have no idea how he did that. And isn't that pretty expensive? I mean, again, getting me to question the economy in this world. How much does that cost to delete the ground? Wouldn't it be cheaper to just make the ground like a transparent thing? Or like a ghost-like sort of programming code, so then you can just fill back in the code instead of deleting the whole entire ground? Do they have someone who repairs that? I mean, really, we're only like 2 minutes into this episode, and I already have tons of questions. But, yeah, he somehow does that, and they do get to arrest her. I guess fixing the ground around her, seeing as she's just in, like, a square in, like, the center of this huge pit around her, so I guess they got a bridge or a helicopter or something, I don't know. But they somehow got her after that, and now it appears that there have been other programs who have been caught for curfew who are being sent to the games. But then the renegade comes in to try and save them, as we see the return of the incompetent guard who just tells the renegade to stop. Yeah, that'll work. Amazingly, it doesn't. Yeah, I know. Shocker, huh? Just saying, hey, stop that. It does. Yeah, amazingly, that didn't work there. So now, Beck, the Renegade, sorry. I always try to call him the Renegade when he dressed up as the Renegade. But, So now the renegade grabs one of the staffs, which for some odd reason they gave to that incompetent guard. Why, I have no idea. I mean, really, was that guy even qualified to use a disc? Let alone a staff? I mean, I wouldn't trust him with anything, really. But now Beck tries to do that, deleting the ground trick on them, and is rightfully surprised that it works. You and me both. And he saves the prisoners while telling them to spread the word, but forgets to tell them what word to spread. Yeah, he just leaves. I mean, okay, it's kind of clear he was gonna say spread the word Tron lives, but he never actually says Tron lives, so I mean, if any of these programs were new to Argonne or were just tourists or something, they would be pretty confused right now. Like, spread the word of what? None of the programs there seem to have known what he was actually talking about. They all just sort of looking at each other confused. I guess they were all tourists. Also gave me to wonder, is there any other city outside of Argonne? I mean, really, we never hear any word of any other city outside of Argonne. Is there even any city outside of Argonne, or did the grid just go as far as making Argonne? Is that where their whole society lives? Just in one city? If so, then where did Tesler come from? Because he came from another city. God, I have so many questions on this episode, and we're only like 5 minutes into it. Now we get to catch up with Tesler, who is annoyed to hear how useless this guard is, and he dereses him for his complete incompetence. Frankly, I'm just surprised that this guard has lived as long as he did. So he asked Pavel to do the most important job. Get a janitor to clean up the incompetent guard. And we also learned that Tesler has had enough with this Tron Live stuff, and he is going to try and put a stop to it. So then after that importantness, we cut to Zed getting annoyed. Why is he annoyed, you might ask? Well, they're at the disc area. Yeah, remember that disc game area that they have? Yeah. Even though it's been taken over by Tesler, I guess it's still that game area. I mean, I guess they do need the money after making ground deleting programs, but yeah, I guess that's what they use that for. But apparently this place isn't getting that much money, seeing as there's only one arena in use, which really makes me question why Zed, Beck, and Mara don't just go to another arena. There's literally just these two programs I've been playing for hours, and yet there are these tons of open arenas there. They can't just go to any of the others, or did they already pay to get into this one? How much does it cost to play these dumb disc games? Could they just buy into another one? I'm really wondering how the economy in this world works, seeing as they never really seem to use any money. And I'm also wondering why they don't just go to another arena. But their arena annoyance is now put to an end when a screen appears with Tesler saying that he's got a lot of programs that he has taken and is going to be putting in the games because they've been caught after curfew. And the only way for them to not go into the games, and also a way to get rid of the curfew, thank God, it's about time, is for the renegade to turn himself in. Beck, for some odd reason, thinks that this is a good idea, as he sees it as a way that he can beat Tesler. You weren't able to beat Tesler before, but now that he knows that you're coming in, you've lost the element of surprise, but now you'll get them. As Tron pretty much states everything wrong with this plan. Thanks, Tron. Then we go to Pavel giving Tesler some useless upgrades, which Paige really doesn't get why, but it really angers her for some reason. I don't know. It just really angers her. No real reason at all. It's just she gets really annoyed about this for some reason. And then we go and see Beck finally, and I mean finally, going back to the garage. Yeah, forgot he worked at a garage, didn't you? Well, he still does. Somehow he hasn't been fired. I mean, really, how has he not been fired yet? Um, but he bumps into Abel, who has had a lot to say to Beck. And pretty much he's saying that, well, you hardly ever come to work, and whenever you do, you're either distracted, and that's even if it's a day that you will come to work, because half of the time you don't even come. So instead of firing him, he's assigned to ground him and until the next cycle comes, he can't leave the garage. No exceptions. Yeah, I'm real sure he's gonna stay in the garage the whole time. But the worst part about all this is that he has to work with Zeb, who pretty much brings up some really good points about Beck and his non-working issue. But now Beck and Abel get into yet another argument. Yeah, this is like the second one they've had in this episode. Well, actually, wait, no, it's their third. But this one's totally different because Beck acts like a teenager in this one. Yeah, the guy's like 20 or something, but he's gonna act like a teenager about this scenario. What a jerk. Well, but now all the programs are going to see what the renegade will do, as Abel decides to leave Link in charge of Beck. Yeah, if you forgot who Link is, let's go back to the episode The Reward. Remember the guy who got the car? Yeah, that guy. That's Link. He's so important to this. I know, he's just so important to this Tron Uprising series. I mean, I'm surprised that you forgot about him after that one appearance he's had. So, the reason why he's the only one staying behind is because he's already met the renegade after he stole his car. So yeah, I guess he's kind of annoyed at the renegade, and so pretty much he can stay behind because he's already seen him, so he doesn't need to see it again. And apparently Link is really bad at his job because Beck just leaves. Link, you really don't know what watch him means, do you? So now the renegade shows up and the prisoners are set free as the renegade just wants to fight immediately. Did he even care about the prisoners? I mean, the prisoners were just set free and then he's just like, yeah, no, let's fight. Like, did he even care? Or did he just want an opportunity to attack Tesler? I'm really questioning his motives here. But but the fight is taken underground because I guess all of a sudden the renegade did care. Oh wait, no, it wasn't even the renegade. It was actually Tesler who wanted to move the thing underground. So then all the other programs wouldn't be hurt. I we sure Tesler's not the good guy right now? I mean, he's offering a chance to get rid of this curfew. He's letting prisoners go after they broke the law. And he's letting them free. And now he's wanting to get the programs out of harm's way. As the renegade is just saying, nope, let's just fight. I mean, really? Are we sure he's not the bad? Are we sure he's the bad guy in this episode? He really doesn't seem like it. But now we see that Tesler is really serious because he took off his cape. The true sign of him being serious. So he gets, and apparently the upgrade to his hand is a giant gun. He's a transformer, I guess. Yeah, his hand just turns into this giant gun. I mean, okay, it's awesome. I mean, it's really awesome, but how? How does that work? Did Pavel alter the programming in his hand? So that whenever he wants his hand to turn to a giant gun, it can? Can turn to other weapons? Do they even have guns in this universe? Because all they have are discs. That's all they use for fighting, so is this gun like a completely new weapon? I mean, or is it just supposed to look cool? In which case, other than this, I mean, yeah, okay, it looks really cool. So, yeah, Tesler is about to kill the renegade. And he doesn't use this giant gun that he has. No, instead he's just gonna choke him. You've been waiting for this for so long, and you decide, giant gun or choking. Yeah, choking's gonna win this round. So, then out of nowhere, a mysterious program enters and cuts off Tesler's hand. And then Tesler just leaves. And then so does the mysterious program and the renegade. But the curfew is still intact. But all the programs now leave, probably knowing that Tron lives, even though Zed's still not really that convinced. Even though we just saw this battle, but I still don't really see how losing this battle means, like, oh yeah, Tron lives now. I mean, only Tron could lose that badly. So, now Beck, having already destroyed his grounding thing, even though he could get back before Abel if he just tried hard enough. No, instead what he decided to do was go back to Tron just to talk to him about the scenario. Couldn't you do that tomorrow or something? And he also wants to thank Tron for saving his life for the 6th time. Beck's been keeping count for some reason. Really, it wasn't me keeping count. Beck was actually the one who was keeping count. I don't know why, he just did, apparently. Is that what he does in his free time? He counts all the times that Tron has saved him? I don't know, so now, but Tron has actually been at the hideout all night. So now the question remains, who saved him? Apparently it was Abel. Yep, Abel was the one who came in and cut off Tesler's hand. And Abel also knows that Beck's the renegade. When did he find that out? I mean, okay, it's kind of obvious. he doesn't even really disguise his voice outside of a little bit of manipulation in it, but outside of that, it's pretty much normal. All he wears is a mask, which if light shines in front of it, then yeah, it's pretty easy to see who it is, but yeah, he's never gotten close enough to the renegade to do that. So how would he know? Well, anyway, this is still really awesome. So, I mean, clearly these two are gonna have a lot to talk about, and then the episode ends. Am I the only one who really hopes that the next episode is just gonna be them talking about the scenario? Because that's pretty cool. So, yeah, for this episode itself, it's pretty good. There are some things that are revealed pretty well. Like, we do get to see more with Abel, which is great. As you know, he's my favorite character in this show for a good reason, and man, is he just awesome. I mean, he runs his, for one, he runs his garage really well, except for with Beck, and then when a program isn't working right, he's gotta make sure that program works right. So I will say, good job on con- on con- on controlling your garage there. I don't know, I was tongue twisted for some reason, but yeah, Abel's really good at controlling his garage, and man, is he awesome! I don't know why. It's just something about him. He's really awesome. Um, for one, the fact that he would risk so much by cutting off Tesler's hand. And he just did it because he thought it was his friend. He didn't have concrete answers yet. He only gets those at the end of the episode he asks where he asks Beck, "How long have you been the renegade?" In which Beck's reply is, "How did you find this out?" Yeah, a great way of keeping your secret identity there. I mean, just amazing. Yeah, and next Peter Parker is gonna go up wearing a "I'm Spider-Man" t-shirt. But, so that was pretty cool in it, but then there's also the fact that this episode actually has some really funny reactions, particularly at the end. Yeah, you want here are some of them, but they are really funny for some odd reason. They all seem to happen during the ending fight, though.
Now shut up and fight. Wait, hang on. Seriously?
Am I the only one who's wondering what that last moon's recording session was like? I mean, really, what was that recording session like? I would do anything to see what that recording session looked like. Just seeing Elijah Wood have to make those sounds for no, just like not doing anything, just making those sounds. I really want to see that for some reason, but yeah, mainly the reactions in this one is pretty funny, and there are actually some pretty good points brought up about Beck and his job, particularly by Zeb, actually.
Abel's been looking all over. I heard. I'm avoiding him. And what better place to avoid him than his own garage?
And yeah, it's actually kind of cool to see one of the characters, like sort of a vigilante or superhero like character, actually talk about how their job is affected. I mean, we don't really see that. Okay, it does happen at times, but it's pretty rare. It's kind of like Batman talking about how Bruce Wayne hardly even does that much. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. And it is actually kind of neat to see how his job is reflected by this. His job is really harshly affected, and it is pretty neat to see. Although I'm pretty sure this is the last time we're actually going to see that, seeing as Abel now knows who the renegade is. So I'm pretty sure he's going to go pretty soft on Beck now, but it is still pretty cool to see finally being brought up. I mean, okay, it has been brought up a little bit in the past, but now they dedicated a whole episode to it. And I think it's really cool they're just bringing attention to this. Um, Now we do also get to see Tesler being really productive in this one, trying to catch the renegade. He even loses a limb for this, so it is pretty cool to see. Um, but outside of the sort of stuff at the end, which is really where this episode does get good, is at the ending. Outside of that, it's pretty much just a filler episode. I mean, it is kind of nice to see they do bring back the curfew thing, because for a while I was wondering, okay, is this curfew still in effect? Or is it not anymore? Did they stop the curfew? How long does it last? Did it last for like a week, or is it gonna last until someone stops it? And, well, now I got my answer. It is going to last until one of the officials actually decides to stop the curfew. So, yeah, that's kind of neat to see that it is being brought up again, and also seeing that it's being brought up in that way. But outside of that, and also the ending in this one, it's an okay episode. I mean, there are some neat things in it. We do get to learn a lot more. There are some pretty cool reveals, but outside of that, I mean, there's not really that much to it. I mean, it's a pretty good episode if you're looking for one that sort of discusses more about how a job would be affected by being a vigilante and everything. And, like, if you're wanting to see that from this, then this is definitely a great one of the episodes to check out. Or if you just want to see some really cool stuff with Abel, or if you just kind of want a pretty funny episode at times, then this is definitely one of them. But I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, but there isn't really that much to talk about it aside from the stuff at the end. But I will say they do actually make the ending come at a pretty big surprise, because from the beginning of this episode, you would just sort of think, okay, this is just gonna be another filler episode, but then they take a surprising direction with it. So this is an important episode to watch. So yeah, this one's pretty good. There are a lot of neat things that are revealed in it, and Abel now knows who the renegade is, which apparently he's known for a while. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.